Good morning, everyone. Aloha and welcome to Unity Church. We're going to begin our service today. If everyone will please say the affirmation that comes up on our screen. There it is. Our affirmation for September, this last Sunday in September. As I discover the power within, I unleash my divine potential. I am grateful. And so it is. And now we're going to ask you to please rise. We will sing our opening song by Faith Rivera.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Today's daily word is whole. I accept wholeness as the divine blueprint of my being. Wholeness is the divine design of my being. When I align my thinking with this truth, I invigorate wholeness in every atom and cell. Myrtle Fillmore wrote, God is the one perfect life flowing through us. God is the only reality of us. All else is but shadow. I focus my awareness on patterns or beliefs that are not part of God's will for me. I bring negative self-talk and doubts out of the shadow and release them into the light of transformation. Releasing lifts my consciousness to a new expectancy of wholeness. I speak words of truth, love, and gratitude to my body. My whole being, body, mind, and spirit responds to divine life. I am renewed. If then your whole body is full of light, with no part of it in darkness, it will be as full of light as when a lamp gives you light with its rays. Luke 11:36. Again, today's daily word is whole, and our affirmation is, I accept wholeness as the divine blueprint of my being. Together, I accept wholeness as the divine blueprint of my being.
Thank you, Nicola. And now I invite you to visualize our sanctuary as a beautiful heart. And we just see this heart moving in and around and through each one of us, filling our whole center with that light and that love that is in every one of us. And we just breathe into our heart space, allowing our heart to be full, to fill this room, touching each other's heart. And right here and right now, if there is anyone in your life or in our world that you would like to hold in our heart and send them a blessing, see them lovingly cared for, nurtured, and blessed. And if there is any circumstance in your life or in our world we send out that loving blessing. We hold them in our heart as we sing the prayer for protection. And now I invite you to get comfortable where you are. Close your eyes if that feels right to you. We begin our time of centering in prayer by just breathing. Taking a deep breath, the very breath of life that is God. And as we exhale, we begin to relax. We relax our mind, our body, our emotions. We just set aside whatever may be in your conscious mind. Allow it to just dissolve right here and right now. And continue to take in a few deep breaths. And every exhale takes us deeper into that secret place of the Most High God in us. Breathing and relaxing. Breathing and knowing that this truly is our time of reconnecting with the God of our being. right here and right now. This is our holy moment. A moment of taking time in this quiet space to commune and communicate with that spiritual oneness in us that knows no boundaries, that supports and loves us through every moment of every day. Breathing and relaxing and holding this highest thought in these moments. I am now open and receptive to commune with the God of my being. I am now open and receptive to commune with the God of my being. And affirm this in your mind and in your heart. I am now open and receptive to commune with the God of my being. Right here and right now, we open those lines of communication between our mind and our heart, and allowing that spiritual energy to flow within us, to grow within us. When we do this, fear dissolves, anxiety dissolves, any worldly pressures dissolve. We become open to truth, open to communication within and without. As we go into a time of quiet prayer, allow yourself to commune with the God of your being, making this a blessed, holy moment, right here and right now, in the silence. And now taking another deep breath as we exhale. We allow every cell of our being to come alive, to be filled with thanksgiving and gratitude for our life, our love, our ability to be one with all things. As we connect and communicate with the God of our being, we're allowed the freedom to connect and communicate with each other. And so in these moments, I invite you to allow that spirit of loving communication to fill you, and to become willing to share your spirit and your truth with yourselves and each other from this moment forward. And so it is. Amen. And thank you, Larry, too. We're just so blessed to have them both.
Yes.
Yes, we are. How's everyone today? Good. Good. I have a little bit of a grovelly voice here. Comes and goes, so we'll let it come and go. Or just go. That's my prayer. Because, isn't it funny, my lesson today is about communication. I think I'm going to, and my microphone's going. Hello. This is how God plays with us in our magical field here called life. Isn't it true? We have all kinds of things happen around here. It's just that little twinkling. So it's about communication. What does it mean to be a good communicator? What does it mean to you to be able to take the thoughts, the feelings from your heart and express them to someone else? Larry's just ringing. He didn't want to say anything. Is it challenging for you? Is communication a challenge for us in the world? When we're filled with technology that's all about communication, are we really communicating with each other? And the only way to do that is to learn about yourself and how you think and how you act and how you believe in your heart so that you can be the best communicator you can be. Because it is a challenge. When you're with a group of people or one person one-on-one, are you comfortable with the silent communication? Have you been in a car ever on a long trip and nobody's talking? The radio's not on? Who's the first one to feel uncomfortable? You don't know because nobody's talking. But our opportunity every day is to open the lines of communication. To not always think and say what's in our head, but to really sit with the feeling and say, you know, this is a powerful time for all of us to be able to open our heart, not to what's happening in our world, but what's happening inside of each one of us. Okay?
That one not working? Try yellow.
We're going to go through the whole rainbow today, people. Okay. Jesus said, when the disciples and everyone asked him, what is the greatest commandment? And he said, number 1, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second important commandment is love your neighbor as yourself. So does that really mean that if you don't love yourself, you can't love your neighbor? I've thought about this a lot. I'm sure you have too. Because sometimes we're a lot more loving to other people than we are to ourselves. But is it really the love we're looking for? Something to think about. I had a wonderful experience since Friday. I went to Oahu. I have lots of birthdays with children and grandchildren. And one of the highlights, I can't even say the highlight, was to see my niece, who is now 29 years of age, wonderful woman. And I haven't seen her since her mom died, my sister, which was 10 years ago. And all we did was communicate, truly, truly communicate. From when we first saw each other yesterday morning, throughout the afternoon when we were in the ocean together, placing my sister's ashes in Kailua Beach, one of her favorite places in the whole wide world. It was powerful. And we spent a lot of time with family. We had like 11 people at a breakfast, all ages, grandchildren, kids, parents. And every moment was rich if I participated. If I communicated and didn't go from the judgmental place of, oh, geez, what are they doing now? Oh my, they could take better care of themselves now. You know, the mothering part that might want to take over. But true mothering comes from love. And so the ability and the opportunity to love all these people, it is there. And to share stories. My niece just wanted to hear everything about everyone and what's happened in our lives. Because for many, many years, she shut down, completely shut down, because she was so young when her mom died. And so we didn't communicate for years because it was just too painful. I look like her mom and I sound like her mom. It was very hard for her to open up. But last year she went on a work trip to Maui and had the opportunity of having a spiritual awakening. And she was out on a paddle boat or on a surfboard out on the ocean in Maui, and she could hear her mom talking to her. And her mom just kept saying it over and over again, look up, look up, look up. And from that moment on, she's been searching and researching. We've been researching the Hawaiian meanings of what it means to look up. And that spiritual connection is all about learning to connect with the God of our being and our memories, our thoughts, our feelings of the people who are with us and those who have passed on. So for the last year, our communication has truly opened up. And she has people in her life that love and support her. And she's not always looking for a mother figure because she has so many people in her life that love her. And she's great at her work. And she wants to do what she loves. If every one of us does what we love, what will happen on this planet? There won't be any poverty because everybody will be just so happy with whatever they get. And they'll be good stewards of God's abundance. Our health will be creative, and who knows what can happen. But we know that everything is whole and complete. Today's daily word was about that. If I am whole, how can there be dis-ease? It's in our mind and in our heart. So I would like to communicate better with myself so that I can be a better communicator out in the world. That's what we get to learn about. And so Jesus was our way shower. That's what we call him around here. That he showed us the way to do the things that will change your life. Did he say it was going to be easy? Never. He was crucified for his beliefs and his teachings. But don't we crucify ourselves all the time? Who's your worst enemy in your life? Usually it's us, telling us we're not good enough, smart enough, thin enough, fast enough. We can't be more athletic because we're 65. All those kinds of things that we say we can't do. Every time we say that, we're building another wall to our communication. Our heart is a powerful tool, a powerful way of expressing who we are on a daily basis. Is it easy? Is your spiritual life easy? It's easy right now when you're in church. But we get to take it out into the world and be that best communicator, no matter what it's like. And I often tell you this because I know you do it too. Like I was in the airports a couple of days in a row, and people either walk by and smile or ignore you or whatever, but when you make that connection with some stranger, isn't it fabulous? Because they're smiling at you. Their heart, their soul, their spirit is recognizing that in you. And you're recognizing it in them. And that is communication. Just those brief moments that will fill our heart. And last night, I didn't want to leave my niece and my kids and my grandkids yesterday. But if I didn't, I wasn't going to make that plane. There's only one flight late at night coming from Honolulu. And God is so good. I'm driving the rental car and I'm like, it is 7 o'clock and it starts boarding at 7:22. This is not good. I'm on the other side of the island. And I said, so the panic and the anxiety starts to grow because I'm clearly not communicating with the God of my being in those moments. So it was like, okay, breathe, Deb, relax. Let's see what we do here. So I called my son. I said, will you do the check-in for me online at your house and send it to me on my phone? Because I will not text and drive. So he did that, and he goes, I hope it works. And he's on a spiritual path, so he's supporting me in a loving way. And then I was like, okay, I'll just take the rental car. I'll keep it for a day. I'll go back to Kailua, go to Kahala, wherever I got to go. And then I'll catch the 5 o'clock flight this morning. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do that, God. And so in those brief moments, all I could hear, everything's in divine order, Deb. Everything's in divine order. It's a divine order moment, a divine order day. The communication began with the God of my being. To listen to that still small voice that said, you can panic, you can speed, there's police all over the place, then you'll get stopped, because all those things will happen. So I get to the rental car, and it was 7:06. Supposed to take it back at 7. So a minute, I have a panic. They're going to charge me for a whole nother day. Did he? No. And I went, okay, it's divine order. Then I get on the shuttle bus, because I got to get to the airport again, right? And it's like 7:17. And I'm like, all in divine order. Okay, God, I'm just going to let it go, turn it over to you. There's tons of people getting on the shuttle. Lots of luggage. And the guy is Mr. Friendly, and he gives everyone a flower. He makes sure the men give this is how it's going on the bus. And I was like, this is in divine order. And he goes, Mrs. Knowles, how are you? And I was like, I'm fine. I'm good. We're doing good here. He goes, I haven't seen you for a while. And I said, I was wondering where you were, because I fly often. And he told me his whole story. He's starting to drive the bus. It's very slow. And he's telling me about the last year of his life, workers' comp, rotator cuff. And in the middle of sitting there, I said, Deb, just breathe. Be with this guy, because it's all about communicating. I just let it go. Let it all go. And I don't know if you've ever done a check-in at the airport on your phone, where you get that little square box with those goofy things, and it will actually let you check in. Because I didn't have any paper or proof that I really had this flight, except for my phone. So I get off the bus. I'm so happy to see him. I really was. Once I settled into my communication of spirit, it worked great. And so then I get there. There's no one in the TSA line. Not a person. Does that ever happen to you? Okay, so I was on another planet, because it was not Honolulu International Airport. And so he goes, just set your phone down here, green light. I'm like, oh God. And then I'm thinking, what do I have in my bag? Because I checked it on the way over, and I thought, what do I have? And I was like, oh man, I got hairspray. They can have it. So it goes through there. Guess what happened? Nothing. And then I look, okay, what gate are we at? Of course it's number 60, down at the end. Hustling down there. Guess what? The flight's delayed. By 1 hour. Does that ever happen? No. But to keep the lines of communication, so I walked up to the gate agent and I said, I just have this, my proof that I paid for my ticket. And he goes, let me see your phone. He goes, we'll try it. I'm sure it'll work. And he goes, you can just wait, because the flight hadn't even come in to take us back, because the Kona airport only had one landing strip open yesterday, all day. So all the flights from Kona and to Kona were delayed. So we left at, probably 8:30, way past 7:22. And then I got here at 9. It's just like when you stay open and receptive life will flow. And then there was all kinds of craziness over on this island with my daughter and my grandson because he wanted to surprise her for her birthday. They had the same birthday. My daughter's 40, he's 20. And so he asked if I would help do a covert operation yesterday. So my husband helped. We had an extra car, my old car. And so we had a car to drive and go surprise his mom. And he keeps calling and telling me that he needs to know where she is. And I said, she's at the Hilton. She could be anywhere. So finally he caught a glimpse of her. He dropped his stuff, dove into the pool, and popped up right in front of her. Can you imagine the joy and the love and the communication that we all had to have all weekend to make that happen? She's the happiest mom in the world. But it all starts with us being okay with who we are, the God spirit of our being, and saying, let's move forward together. There's going to be issues. There's going to be experiences that we have that are going to happen to and through us. But we want to be part of that spiritual awakening that says everything is in divine order. And for me personally, that unity saying is one of the first things I ever heard in unity was divine order. And I was like, how can that be? So I had to go experience my truth. How could my life be in divine order when it's been so hard? But every time we go to truth, we get to experience a spiritual awakening. So I wrote a little anagram for the word communicate and the way for us to share our spiritual truth with ourselves and each other. So the C stands for consciously. We want to be consciously aware of our being, our truth, our connection to spirit. The O stands for being open. We want to be open to truth. And it's our truth. No one can take it away from you, and no one can give it to you because it's already in you. The M stands for we want to have our mind be open to truth, because a lot of times we shut it like a steel trap on things that come our way. We want to learn to master. The second M is to master our truth. The U stands to do all of this as unconditionally as we can with ourselves and each other. To communicate with love and grace. The N stands for nurturing. If we don't nurture something, it isn't going to grow, will it? And that includes ourselves. If we don't nurture ourselves, we won't be able to nurture others. The I stands for incorporate. That means we have to incorporate everything that we live and learn, Unity's 5 spiritual truths. All the things that we learn, to incorporate them into our daily living. We want to provide ourselves with a sea of correct action. Whatever is right for us to do, that's our opportunity in life. The A is for action. That means we put wings on our prayers. We take these spiritual truths and we take the steps we need to do to move forward in our life. And the T stands for we continue to take the action to move toward our spiritual goals, whatever they might be. You might want to meditate a little longer, spend more time in the ocean, swim at the pool, walk with your family, talk with your family, be with your friends. Whatever that action might be that fills your heart with love. Be married 50 years and still be in love with each other. That's a gift. And it took a lot of work, I'm sure, on everybody's part. And the last is to allow the E, the essence of your being, to shine forth each and every day. Sometimes it's challenging when the world has lots of things going on in it that we don't understand and we can't change. But we want to be present in our life, to feel the connection of our essence. Therefore, we can connect with others and allow the essence of our being to know the truth, because this truth will set us free. That's God calling. That's what I always say. It's so great. Because remember last week I said, isn't it fabulous? For 1 hour of every Wednesday, we're not communicating on a phone or a computer. We're at church. It's great. It's all great. We love you. See, it's all about essence and spirit of truth. Because that was a gentle reminder, right? That's all it was. I'm here. Turn me off. Spiritual truth is necessary for our daily lives. And in it comes experiences that will fill our heart with more love, more grace, more of that spiritual connection, whatever it might be. And to just tell your family how much you love them, because you never know.